The awakening of humanity's titan. The Andromeda Spiral had known peace for 3 millennia. 12 major civilizations coexisted under the Galactic Accord, their ships traversing established hyperlanes, their disputes settled in the great chambers of the Unity Station. The Kryn, masters of biotechnology, grew their ships like coral reefs in orbital nurseries. The Veloxi, transcended energy beings, illuminated trade routes with their ethereal vessels. Even the warrior caste of the Thraxi had long since turned their blades into ceremonial artifacts. None imagined that in a quiet arm of the galaxy, hidden behind clouds of cosmic dust, a new power had been rising. The first warning came from a Kryn scout vessel exploring the uncharted regions of the Outer Rim. Its captain, Zilara, detected unusual energy signatures emanating from a previously dead system. What she found there would shatter the galaxy's centuries of peace. "Command, this is Scout Vessel Harmony," Zilara transmitted, her voice quivering. "I've discovered an artificial construct of unprecedented scale. It appears to be a shipyard, but the technology, it's unlike anything in our databases." The shipyard was a marvel of engineering. Vast metallic structures assembled with brutal efficiency, automated systems working tirelessly, and, at its heart, a vessel that defied comprehension. The ship was angular and dark, its hull composed of materials that seemed to absorb rather than reflect light. Weapons arrays bristled from every surface, not in the elegant patterns of known civilizations, but in a configuration that spoke of pure, calculated lethality. 3 days later, the vessel activated. Its name, broadcast in every known language and countless others, was simple: Prometheus. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session. Representatives from all 12 civilizations gathered in the crystalline chambers of Unity Station, their forms diverse yet united in concern. "We've analyzed the transmissions," the Veloxi representative pulsed, its energy form flickering with agitation. "This Prometheus belongs to a species calling themselves humans. They claim to have been observing us for generations." Chancellor Korath of the Thraxi stood, his ceremonial armor gleaming. "Impossible. Our sensor nets would have detected any civilization capable of such technology. And yet," whispered the Kryn ambassador, "here they are." The humans' message was simple. They sought membership in the Galactic Accord. But their method of introduction, arriving with a warship that dwarfed even the largest Thraxi dreadnought, sent waves of unease through the council. "We should welcome them," argued Elder Scythus of the Peaceful Luminary. "Perhaps their warship is merely ceremonial, like the Thraxi blade cruisers." The debate raged for days until a decision was reached. A diplomatic envoy would be sent to meet the humans. The mission would be led by Ambassador Vera of the Collective, known for her skill in first contact scenarios. What happened next would be remembered as the Prometheus incident. The diplomatic fleet, 3 cruisers and 12 escort vessels, approached the human warship at the designated coordinates. Ambassador Vera's message of peace and welcome was met with silence. Then, without warning, Prometheus moved. It didn't attack. It simply demonstrated. Energy shields of impossible density materialized around the human vessel. Weapon systems came online, each one targeting a different ship in the diplomatic fleet with pinpoint precision. The message was clear: we could destroy you all in an instant, but we choose not to. Then came the second demonstration. Prometheus launched a single projectile, not at the diplomatic fleet, but at a nearby asteroid field. The weapon carved through solid rock like it was vapor, leaving a perfectly smooth tunnel 3 kilometers long. "By the void," whispered a Thraxi observer. That wasn't even their main weapon. The diplomatic fleet retreated, and panic gripped the Galactic Council. Analysis of the demonstrations revealed technology decades, perhaps centuries, ahead of anything the 12 civilizations possessed. The humans had been watching, learning, and preparing while the galaxy remained complacent in its peace. "We must act," declared Chancellor Korath. "This warship threatens the balance of power. If the humans can build one such vessel, They can build more. But they've offered peace, countered Elder Sithis. Peace at the barrel of a gun is not peace, the Veloxi representative crackled. It is subjugation waiting to happen. The council chambers erupted in argument. Some called for immediate military action, others for continued diplomacy. But as reports came in of more human vessels emerging from the outer rim, fear began to override reason. The turning point came when long-range sensors detected something that chilled even the most optimistic council members. Prometheus was not alone. Behind it, still in the depths of human space, were energy signatures suggesting dozens, perhaps hundreds, of similar vessels under construction. They're not joining us as equals, the Kryn ambassador realized. They're preparing to replace us as the dominant power. In that moment, an unprecedented decision was made. For the first time in 3 millennia, the 12 civilizations would unite their military forces against a common threat. The peaceful galaxy would go to war. As fleets gathered and battle plans were drawn, Prometheus remained at the border of human space, silent and watchful. Its very presence had accomplished what no diplomacy could. It had united the galaxy. But not in peace as the humans might have hoped, but in fear of what humanity had become. In the command center of Prometheus, Captain Sarah Chen watched the gathering storm with grim determination. "They see our strength as a threat," she told her crew. "They don't understand that we built these ships not to conquer, but to ensure we would never be conquered." Her first officer, Commander Reeves, studied the tactical displays. "Shall we inform them of our true purpose, Captain?" Chen shook her head. "No, they've made their choice. Now we'll show them why humanity survived when so many other species have fallen. We didn't build Prometheus to start a war. We built it to end one before it could begin." As the united fleets of 12 civilizations approached, the true test of human technology, strategy, and resolve was about to begin. The galaxy had awakened a sleeping giant, and now they would learn why humanity had earned its place among the stars. The alliance and the final stand. The assembled fleet was the largest military force in recorded galactic history. 700 capital ships from 12 civilizations formed a wall of metal and energy at the edge of human space. Phraxi dreadnoughts bristled with plasma cannons, Kryn bioships pulsed with living weapons, and Veloxi energy cruisers shimmered like captured stars. At the center of this armada stood the Unity's Hammer, a joint species battleship created for this single purpose: to destroy Prometheus. Admiral Kethlar, a veteran Thraxi commander chosen to lead the alliance, surveyed his forces with pride and trepidation. "Today, we fight not for territory or resources, but for the very future of our civilizations," he broadcast to the fleet. "The humans have shown us their power. Now we must show them ours." As the fleet advanced, a final attempt at diplomacy was made. Ambassador Vera, aboard a shielded diplomatic vessel, approached Prometheus under a flag of truce. "Human vessel Prometheus," she transmitted, "I come with a final offer from the Galactic Council. Stand down your weapons, submit to oversight, and we can still find peace." Captain Chen's response was measured but firm. "Ambassador, we appreciate your efforts, but you misunderstand our position. We didn't build Prometheus to threaten you. We built it because we discovered something you haven't yet seen. Something coming from beyond our galaxy. It will require all our strength to survive." "Convenient," Vera replied. "An invisible threat to justify your weapons." "Not invisible, Ambassador. Just beyond your current sensor range. You have 3 of your months before they arrive. That's why we pushed so hard, why we revealed ourselves now. We're out of time." The transmission ended, and Vera's vessel retreated. The Alliance dismissed her report as human deception. Admiral Kethlar gave the order: "All ships, commence Operation Starfall." The battle began with a synchronized assault that would have overwhelmed any known vessel. Thousands of missiles, energy beams, and plasma bolts converged on Prometheus from every direction. The space around the human ship became a maelstrom of destructive energy. For a moment, it seemed the Alliance had succeeded. The explosions were so intense that Prometheus disappeared entirely within the conflagration. Cheers erupted across the fleet. Then, as the energy dissipated, Prometheus emerged unscathed. Its shields hadn't just deflected the attacks, they had absorbed them. "Impossible," Admiral Kethlar breathed. Captain Chen's voice came across all frequencies. "We tried to warn you. We needed you to see our strength, not to intimidate you, but to show you what we'll all need to survive what's coming. But if we must prove ourselves in battle first, so be it." Prometheus moved, not with the ponderous grace of a massive warship, but with impossible agility. Its main guns fired, not the overwhelming barrage the Alliance expected, but precise, surgical strikes. Each shot disabled a ship without destroying it, targeting weapons and engines with ruthless efficiency. "They're not trying to kill us," realized a Kryn tactical officer. "They're disarming us." The Alliance adapted, sending in waves of smaller, faster ships. Prometheus deployed its own fighters, sleek, AI-controlled craft that danced through space with inhuman precision. But even these seemed designed to disable rather than destroy. As the battle raged, strange readings began appearing on Alliance sensors. From the intergalactic void, massive energy signatures were approaching, signatures that dwarfed even Prometheus. "Admiral," called a sensor officer aboard Unity's Hammer, "we're detecting unknown vessels entering our galaxy. They're enormous." The fighting slowed as both sides registered the new threat. Emerging from the darkness between galaxies came ships of bizarre, non-Euclidean design. They radiated energies that made sensor readings fluctuate wildly. "Now do you see?" Captain Chen transmitted to the Alliance fleet. "We've been preparing for them. Everything we've built, everything we've done, was for this moment." Admiral Kethlar faced a choice that would define galactic history: continue fighting the humans, or unite against this new threat. Pride warred with pragmatism. "All Alliance vessels," he finally ordered, "cease fire. Form defensive positions alongside the human ship." As the extragalactic invaders approached, Prometheus underwent a transformation. Panels shifted, revealing weapon systems the Alliance had never seen. The ship's true purpose became clear. It wasn't just a warship, it was a specialized defensive platform designed to combat this specific threat. "We call them the Devourers," Chen explained over the Joint Command Channel. "They consume entire galaxies, strip them of all resources and life. We detected their approach 3 decades ago. Everything we've done since has been to prepare for this day." The battle that followed made the conflict between humans and the Alliance look like a minor skirmish. The devoured ships unleashed weapons that warped space itself, creating temporary black holes and regions where physics seemed to break down. But Prometheus and its hidden sister ships, now emerging from human space, were ready. They deployed countermeasures that stabilized space, weapons that could pierce the Devourers' reality-warping shields. The Alliance fleet, following human tactical guidance, added their firepower to the defense. For 7 days, the combined forces fought. Losses were heavy. Nearly a third of the Alliance fleet was destroyed or disabled. But slowly, inexorably, they pushed the Devourers back. The invaders, perhaps for the first time in their history, encountered a civilization they couldn't simply overwhelm. On the 8th day, the remaining Devourer ships retreated into intergalactic space. The galaxy had survived, but at a cost that would reshape its future. In the aftermath, as damaged ships limped back to their home systems, the truth of humanity's actions became clear. They hadn't been conquerors or warmongers, but guardians preparing for a threat only they had detected. The Galactic Council reconvened, this time with humanity as full members. Captain Chen stood before the assembly, no longer as a potential enemy, but as the commander who had helped save them all. "We apologize for our methods," she said, "but we needed you to take us seriously, to see what we were capable of. We couldn't risk the galaxy's defenses being unprepared when the Devourers arrived." Chancellor Korath rose. "You built weapons that terrified us, united us in fear against you. Why not simply tell us the truth? Would you have believed us? Chen asked. A young species claiming to detect a threat your advanced sensors couldn't see. We needed to show our strength first, to prove we were worth listening to. Elder Scythus spoke softly. Perhaps we have been too comfortable in our peace, too willing to see strength as a threat rather than a potential shield. A new age began for the galaxy. The 12 civilizations maintained their alliance, but now as partners with humanity rather than opponents. Human technology was shared. Their shipyards expanded to build defenses for all species. Prometheus became the flagship of a new united fleet, always watching the intergalactic void for signs of the Devourer's return. The warship that had once united the galaxy in fear now united it in purpose. Humanity had earned its place not through conquest, but through foresight, sacrifice, and the willingness to be misunderstood for the greater good. And in the depths of space, construction began on a new class of vessels, ships that would carry the combined knowledge and strength of 13 civilizations. They would be called the Phoenix class, symbols of a galaxy reborn from the ashes of its own prejudices. For the galaxy had learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes the greatest threat comes not from within, but from beyond. And sometimes, those we fear most are the ones we need most to survive.